Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the VectoScalar Tech Talks show. In this show, we have amazing guests who share their insights about technology and how the startup ecosystem is growing. And in this episode, our guest speaker, Chennapa Naidu Darapaneni, is going to cover insight about how to attract investment in your startup and scale it globally. Welcome, Naidu, to our show.
Thank you, Vikas. Really appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
And for the benefit of our audience, you must be interested in knowing more about Naidu. So let me give you a brief introduction. Naidu is a co-founder of Factorial, which is a company into mentoring, consulting, and transaction advisory for growth stage startups in technology, life sciences, and CPS domains. He's a seasoned entrepreneurial career spanning over 26 years. He has founded and successfully exited two revolutionary companies, Versant Technologies, a pioneer in IT services, and Mera Events, a comprehensive technology solution for the event sectors. In the past few years, he has applied this extensive knowledge to help startups scale, offering end-to-end guidance from strategic vision to capital acquisition. That's a great journey, Naidu, you must have had. And uh, tell us more about how did you get into entrepreneurship before everything we discuss further details.
Yeah, see, for me, entrepreneurship is the way I define, is the entrepreneur is the one who actually sees an opportunity in the problem. So when everybody we come across day to day life, so many problems in our day to day life, we could crib about it and leave that activity, or
Sure.
you could decide that can I solve this problem and create a business opportunity from there, right? So that's where the thought process of entrepreneurship is all about to me, right?
Okay.
And it's also
Okay.
a value addition because entrepreneur is the one who is changing the system, the ecosystem of this whole activity and solving the real pain problem of a person or the people, right? The society, which is really
Yeah.
creating a business opportunity, right? So if I go
Okay.
back to my early days of my college, right, where I was actually studying myself engineering, right, in engineering, well, that time there was no, I was in a remote location where there is no, there was no TV in 1993 or so, right? There are not much of activities, no entertainment, and habit of reading was books was way high that time, but there was none of that nearby information. So my first venture when I started, basically I started a friend's bookstall, which basically collected all the various books and keep renting it, in the process, right? So, and I was
Okay.
able to read myself also and solving my own problem at the same time solving so many other people problem, right? So the ideas will always, the way I look at it as the pain problem of the users or the day-to-day life what we face, and if you someone can solve, that's all about entrepreneurship into me, in the journey.
Okay. So what happened? I'm more curious about that when you opened that bookstall, and it's an interesting insight that you were reading the books and solving your problem. That's a two-way solution. But after that, what happened? How did that Versant Technology? Was it the first venture after you get out of the college?
No, after I get out of the college, I got a job, and then I don't know, like many people know about how these IT opportunities came to these people today, right? Not many people aware of it. There was a
Mhm.
Y2K problem.
Yeah.
So that's how the opportunities was created for many people during 99 2000, like 98, 99, 97 kind of years of that time. So I came to US, I got trained, and I came to US in 99, right? And 2000 there was a dot-com bust.
Yep.
So I also lost the opportunity, the job opportunity, right? So in US the concept of, you can lose a job anytime, like, hire and fire kind of a concept, right? Without any notice you can lose your job. So when there is no
Mhm.
security to the job, right, then I thought, why not I create that opportunity for myself for the long term. So that's how my first company, Versant Technologies, in 2000 was started with the vision that, why don't we create opportunity for more people, right? And there were so many unemployed people during that time was there in US, mainly especially Indians, working in grocery stores and, many others, gas stations and all of that. I thought, why not I train them, help them to get opportunities. So I created Versant Technologies and trained on the technologies what I was learning, and then help them to place in the job. So that's how the Versant Technology was started as a consulting company. But eventually it got transformed into the IT services company. I started an offshore development center in 2004. I used to go as a project manager, and then helping the implementing the projects in India. So that's how the Versant Technology was started, and which grown to close to $5 million revenue during my journey between 2000 to 2008.
Oh, that's again, it's an example that you just mentioned, that how an entrepreneur turned the opportunity from the problem. So you saw the problem of the Y2K, the dot-com bust happened, and you were seeing the problem, but you turned into an opportunity, that how can I solve this problem, and turn it into the opportunity. And
Absolutely.
that became the origin of Versant Technologies. And what about the Mera events? How did Mera event happen then?
It's the same, once again, the similar story where I moved back from US to India in 2008, right? And I wanted to attach to the market within Indian market, what's happening and what's going on. But the challenge is on identifying what's happening within my own city, my own interest areas, right? What kind of events are happening? Because I strongly believe events are the one area where you could connect a similar minded people at one location in the lesser time. So that's where the events has that kind of a power of networking. So I thought, what's happening in my own city? There was no easier way of finding that information once again. And secondly, the event organizer has to struggle to let the information know to the people, so that he's doing a great event, but he's having his own challenge. So I see the problem on both the sides of organizers who are conducting the event and the attendees who are wanted to attend the event. And similarly, once again, I faced my own problem of identifying the events. And then I thought, let's create a platform called Mera Events, and that went to a level where I had to sell my Versant technologies first to focus and concentrate on this business, because it went to a 3 million user base in the less than 10 years of span of time. So which was one of
Oh.
the the most platform in India even today, which was really help in this journey. Yeah.
And it's my personal experience that I have used this platform
Yes.
extensively for various events, so I know that it's a great platform, and
Thank you.
the interaction is great. Then your third startup happened, which is current, which is the Factorial. So what stemmed the beginning of the Factorial?
So once again, I think pandemic given me the opportunity to switch my career at a gear. Once again, an opportunity where it was doing extremely great of 3 million users, 100 crore revenue in top line and all of that, right? But the pandemic really halted the entire event industry for a couple of months and couple of years, which led to the little bit of slowdown of the events industry. Then I thought, and India is now the full of startups, so how can utilize my 23 years of experience, how can I utilize to other people and help them to grow? So that is how that was led to the the Factorial scenario, where we started helping the businesses from strategy to the from a team building process, systems, people, and then funding. Because I have done
Mhm.
all of these five elements during my own entrepreneurial journey, so that led to, once again, how can I help other companies to help them to scale, and in that journey I can also grow. So use my now all these 25 years of experience learnings, how can we help companies to grow? So that is what led to the Factorial. And I already I was co-founded along with my co-founder Ram, and that worked out briefly.
Okay. Okay. So during all three companies, and I would say the entrepreneurial startup, it would be four, because that bookstore that you opened,
Right.
book selling, again, it was an entrepreneurial venture. Do you see any common pattern, any common learning, that what helped, what did not work? Any common learning out of these three?
No, the learnings are different at different age, right? For example, when we talk about 1993, there was no even word about startup, or no even about entrepreneurship. It was all
Yeah.
business is the word kind of a thing, right? That time it's just solving the problem, right? Even though we might have keep adding so many jargons, but end of the day, the common thing is, what is the value addition we are solving to the users, right? End of the day, that is
Mhm.
the most important aspect of the business, right? It's not about the valuation, it's not about anything else, right? The problem what we are solving, how the impact of that problem, whatever the problem we are solving, is impacting the lives of the people, right? Today, whatever the venture, whether it's a small problem of 10,000 students during that engineering college, or maybe 100 or 200 people for creating opportunities for the jobs in the Western technologies, or a 3 million users in Mera events, or today the kind of impact we're making the companies on startups to scale. Because it's always, there are so many first time entrepreneurs are there in this current situation, and we call as 1 lakh startups in India alone, right? Imagine the kind of mentorship or the kind of situation needed. I thought, probably mold myself to use this knowledge to so many people and help them to
Mhm.
take to the next level. So it's all about solving the problem, right? And helping the the customer is your at as a priority, not the money, right? whether you may be very successful financially or may not be successful, but the focus has to be very clear about solving the problem. If you do very well, then naturally the whole thing would get into the the right situation, is what I strongly believe. Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I have another question coming from Saddam Hussein, who's asking, what advice do you have for the aspiring entrepreneurs who are in the early stages of attracting investment for their startups?
See, first of all, I want to understand, right? Investment is one part of the whole scenario, and which is the least part of it, I would call it as, right? A lot of people, the startups, the mindset, investment is the highest in their mind right now. I would say that should be
Yes.
the least part, right? If you're solving your problem rightly, and if you're getting the traction, you're getting the users, people are using, and people are willing to pay for your service, right? Then naturally, investors would be behind of you, and you have to do enough marketing, the go to market strategy, and creating of the buzz what you are doing. Investors will be behind of you. You don't need to chase investors, investors will chase you, right? So but the important is, what should be the focus? Solving the pain problem so importantly, so detailed or so depth, right? And you know to, and our people, right, trying to solve too many things at the same time. Solve one problem at a time, but in depth, the real pain problem, solve it first, rather than trying to say I will do this, rather I will only do this, no problem. But solve that problem so meticulously, so detailed, where nobody else can beat you any point of time, right? That is the mantra for entrepreneur. Focus on the problem what you're solving, and do the enough homework and research. What we as a technology entrepreneur, some of the people get onto the code on the day one. They don't speak to your potential customers in the beginning, right? Spend the time in the market, understand the opportunity, right? So things like that. So be very clear on the problem what you're solving, the market what you're talking, and are you imagining, are you going and talking to the real customers, right? Even without having a line of single code, you could actually go to the investors or the customers and speak about that. So the my mantra is, don't focus too much on the investment. I understand you need money for running the business. To the least resources, probably have a co-founder which is a technology guy, right? Have a co-founder which is a good marketing guy, and you yourself take care of this, so you need lesser money, and focus on the problem solving. Once you have the initial customers or the MVP is ready, that is the time I think you should start focusing on the investors, which are angel investors. And mostly these initial investment has to come from friends and family or known people to you, so they can bet on you, not rather than anything else. So my focus is on that part.
So
Hope
focus
that answers.
for the early stage entrepreneur should be the problem that they are solving instead of asking for investment in the early phases.
Absolutely, absolutely, because investors will chase you if you're solving the problem rightly.
Okay, okay. And in this regard, I have a follow-up question coming from Shubham Gupta. What role does market research and validation play in attracting investment and scaling globally?
As I mentioned, because that is the most important thing, right? Suppose if you take a problem you are solving which is not big enough,
Yeah.
that is a small market size, small market opportunity, the chances of you getting investment would be very, very less.
Okay.
So you're getting an opportunity which is not very big. So I basically define the business, the companies are in two ways. One is a lifestyle business, second one is a scalable business. Unfortunately, lifestyle businesses cannot attract investments from the institutional investors or angel investors or so-called VC investors, all of them, right? Only scalable businesses would able to attract that. But
Oh,
entrepreneurs are failing whether my business is a lifestyle business or a scalable business. How do you decide whether it's a lifestyle or scalable? Based on the market size of the opportunity. Is it $1 billion opportunity? Is it a $10 billion opportunity? Things like that. But at the same time, people fall into the trap of, let's say, if I'm in a tourism industry or I'm in events industry, people say, oh, it is a $3 trillion opportunity. But that is not what important. What is important, the problem what you are solving. How big is that opportunity, or how much money you can make? Assume that you are getting 100% of that market share. Out of that, probably you'll get only 20%. But is that big enough? And the market what you're focusing, is it big enough? So those will help you from the research validation, talking to right people, right? Otherwise you're chasing the wrong dream, right? And then investment would never come to you ever. That's why people, entrepreneurs might think, hey, that guy is getting this much money, this company is raised this much money, why not me? He's he's not understanding the market size, the situation where he's in. So that is the biggest problem what I faced it myself, and I also see that in the market.
And do you see, because different school of thought may have different suggestions, and now you are in US and talking to so many other investors and other companies, the advice that you are making, that focus should be on solving the problem, is it like majority of the investors are of that opinion, or it's like there are different school of thought?
No, you see, today, especially nobody, earlier people, when the market was not that as matured as today, right? People were
Yeah.
even betting on the idea stage. But even there also, the people who are betting on the idea stage are not betting on the lifestyle businesses. They have the vision, they have that experience to point out or identify the opportunity based on their experiences. They were betting on the opportunity itself.
Okay.
Entrepreneurs, what they think that everything what they are doing is the biggest opportunity without any data validation, right? Investors knows now today, based on the experience of this last 20-25 years, the kind of opportunities were increased, whether it's US or whether it's India, right? Everybody wants to make money. First of all, we need to understand why investors would invest money on us, not to help us, right? To make money for themselves.
To make money,
They're betting
yes.
on us, right? So unless that opportunity is not big enough, why would they give it to us?
Hmm.
So it is important to understand the business, the problem what you're solving, whether the customers are willing to pay for you. Is it big enough market? Can I make $10 million? Or when I only make 1 crore? There are so many lakhs of businesses in India today. They won't cross 5 crores revenue. Unfortunately, those are
Okay.
all I call as lifestyle businesses. Unless you're able to generate a 100 crores or above in the next 5 to 7 years, the chances that your business might end up in lifestyle business.
You are using this term, Naidu, again and again, of lifestyle business, and it's making me more curious. Could you give me one or two examples that what do you consider as a lifestyle business?
See, first of all, let me go back. Today, we are using the word called startup.
Yeah.
What is the definition of a startup? What is the key ingredients of a startup, right? Today, people, whoever is starting up, is called startup. Unfortunate thing, but I wanted to say on the public, it's unfortunate thing, but whoever is starting up is called startup. Unfortunate, it is not, right? The primary elements of the startups are one, scalability, then innovation. There should be some way of solving this problem differently using technology or some other way, right? And is it scalable or not, right? So anything doesn't fall in these 2 points. If it's not scalable enough, and if you can't able to do any innovation, then it is a startup. Suppose you're doing a digital marketing training for so many people, right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you're teaching about it, or you have a small training course or a
Mhm.
institution. I call that as a lifestyle business. Like that, any business you give anything, or a coaching or a consulting, right? So see, for example, I'm doing a Factorial as a consulting company. I can't that is a scalable business and look for funding and all of that. No, that's a lifestyle business. The impact what
Okay.
I might be making big, but I'm in the lifestyle business of myself, so my business doesn't attract investments.
Mhm.
So if people are clear, so that once you know you're a lifestyle business, your focus on how much money I can make on month or quarter on quarter on year is a focus on the margins, or the focus on the bottom line, not on the top line. Whereas the businesses which are scalable, it's okay to wait for some many number of years on the top line and the users and the growth and interactions and all of that.
Okay.
So hope I am clear about the differentiation between these
Yeah.
two, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Only startups can attract investment, not lifestyle businesses. That's why investment part people needs to understand, and it is the costliest money what you are taking from any from anybody as any investor. It's not the lowest money.
Could you add more details to why is it a costliest money?
Because what we are thinking is it's a equity. That means you are swapping your equity with the money.
Yeah.
Today, if your business goes to the profitability, right? Or when because suppose let's say you have taken $1 million from an investor for your business. You liked your business is great, and investor is willing to invest your money in your business. You have taken $1 million for, let's say, 25% of your company. That means your company is valued at $4 million, right? 1 million you have taken, so 1 million by 4 million, it is 25% of your company
Yeah.
is given to him. Now,
Investor.
how would you make money is only after the investor gets the return, then only the founder will make money. Otherwise, founder will not make anything about it. Nothing. This is zero money what founder will make if he can't give any return of investment to the investor as per the terms and conditions described in the agreement.
Hmm.
So what people are thinking, yes, we need external money to scale, but when we need, only when your business is very clear, your business has opportunity to scale, and it will create a lot of returns or value to the investors and you, then it is the time to take money. If you don't, you are actually not going to make anything out of it.
Okay.
So
Makes
that's why it's
sense.
a very costliest money, I would call it as.
Makes sense. And I think though these are two simple words, that lifestyle business or a scalable business, or are we solving any innovative problem? But I think in my past experience of more than 10 years attending so many conferences and events, I've myself seen that still the same common sense is not so common, and we fail to, whenever we are doing something new, we fail to apply these things, that how to identify the scalability of the business. Because there is a different school of thought who might say that solve the problem for one person first, and so when we are solving the problem of only one person, how to identify that for how many people this is going to this solution is going to solve the problem for. So I think it's an interesting dynamics that we should keep trying to
And
survive,
and and once again, I
identify.
wanted to reiterate that running a lifestyle business is nothing wrong. It is
Hmm.
amazing thing to run a business, lifestyle business, and if you can able to make enough profits in your business and you're solving the problem, you will still solve the. You have to still solve the problem in the lifestyle business too, but you may not able to solve beyond certain level, right? And
Yeah.
and today I can go back and admit that Mira Events was also a lifestyle business because I failed to create 100 crore revenue as a business, not the transaction revenue, your company revenue. I failed. I don't have any thing to admit saying that even though I had a 3 million users and 30,000 customers and 200,000 events after creating or use the platform, I still now call as it can't be beyond a scalable business because it has restrictions alone.
Okay. Okay. So I think with that kind of maturity, when people have done couple of startups or studied them, and then only they can get this kind of insight that uh, whether the business which I'm in, how scalable it is. So have you also seen this example where a lifestyle business done differently is turning into a scalable business? Any example that you have observed in your journey,
Yeah,
that initially it seemed like a lifestyle business, but then it turned into a scalable business?
it is definitely it is. So there are so many businesses initially when they were starting up, right? They might think, okay, this is my imagination or this is what I want to do, right? I would give one of my example. For the last 4 years, I'm working with a company called Sid Farms, which is a dairy brand, right? So when the founder came from US to India and started this up, right, he started a simple dairy farm himself. So it
Okay.
took 100 cows, managing those things, quality milk, delivering to maybe 1,000 customers, all great, right? He was
Right.
planning to run like a simple lifestyle business.
Okay.
But he quickly realized that this is not survivable and there's a bigger opportunity in this market. So he can't do alone one small dairy farm. Why not he solve the main problem of the quality of the milk for the millions of people? Today 70% of the milk is adulterated. So let me solve the problem of the quality of the milk. That means I can't run my dairy farm alone. I have to help all the ecosystem players of whoever is producing the milk, help them to see how to produce the quality of milk, pay them the better price, take care of the milk quality in the process. Now that becomes an opportunity of creating 1,000 crore business in revenue itself. So he transformed, and we were also part of that journey in transforming that company now to a scalable business. So now it is able to
Okay.
attract investments from the investors. So if you understand, like, it may be small problem at the time when you started, but you're able to quickly realize the impact of this, what you can do, and it has that potential, so you can transform to a scalable business. So now today I don't call Sid Farms as a lifestyle business, though it was started like that, but today it is the scalable business. Is solving the problem of the quality, the milk we drink every day, the milk and milk products are we
Yep.
consume. But today that becomes a scalable business because of that one reason, solving the bigger problem in a different way.
Okay, now it makes sense. So, as you know, VectoScalar Technologies is a IT-based company where we are providing custom software development company. So, what do you say? How do we identify that whether it's a lifestyle business, or is it the scalable business? Because there are bigger companies like TCS and Infosys
Yeah,
who are
exactly.
very big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see, for the people who are starting up now, it to me it's a lifestyle business.
Okay.
But once you're able to find a niche and able to scale beyond certain level of the revenue, certain number of users, certain level of customers and activity, it can be turned into a scalable business. Then you can attract investments and solving about it, right? So it depends
Okay.
upon, the same business sometimes, like, in between, right? Somebody can make it a scalable business, somebody cannot. Depends
Okay.
upon the scale you are doing, the opportunity, the hard work you're putting, the way innovatively you're challenging, and how fastly you're growing the business, right?
Okay. Okay.
Suppose year on year you're able to grow 100% and then keep able to maintain that kind of a growth on a continuous basis and doing some innovative way, right? You have to be different, little bit different from the regular one. So then you are also need to identify some kind of niche areas. You can't be generic area. Depends upon, the whole. There are still debatable things, but you can turn an IT business, service business, also a scalable
Mhm.
business of things. But you may not necessarily need any investments also, because you're in a service business. You don't need a lot of money. You could use that money from other sources like banks or other sources, but not necessarily you don't need to go for a institutional or VC fund kind of a thing for a service business. Generally VCs don't be interested, or institutional angel investors won't be interested, even though it is a scalable business, because there is no innovation part is missing. They may not be interested in investing in a services business generally.
Okay, got it. I have a question coming from Bhavna Mia, who is asking, how do startups stay agile and adaptable in the face of evolving market conditions and challenging global landscape, ensuring long-term success and sustained investors' interest?
I mean, it's more of a combination of various things what we talk about, right? You're focusing on the problem, right? That, to me, that is what is important, right? Irrespective of the market conditions, you're focusing on the problem and how frequently you are relevant to the problem what you're solving. Because the technologies whatever is coming today, right, is kind of outpacing with the technologies what's happening right today, the chat GPT or generative AI, all of that activity, right? So it is very important to be relevant to that current situation and adopting those activities of how to utilize the technology, and then be relevant in the problem what you are solving. And that is what will keep the interest of the investors. You might have
Okay.
been a great company one point of time, but if you are not relevant on the current scenario where it is today, I'm sure today, I just read a company as soon as I woke up in the morning, that they, one of this generative AI company raised $150 million, right? Recently another Ola's founder company become $1 billion less than 6 months, right? So they're trying to adapt to the needs of the same problem what is there in the market. Maybe 3 4 years back they would have not even thought that there was an opportunity like that, but within 6 months they were able to create $1 billion opportunity within the short period of time, because they're adaptable, evolving as per the market conditions, based on the global landscapes what is happening. That's where the interest, keep the interest of the long term investment of the investors.
Okay, so it's a dynamic situation. As the market is evolving, solutions should also evolve. The problem should remain the same, but how the solution is remaining
Absolutely.
relevant to the market, that should be
Absolutely.
taken care of. Okay,
Absolutely.
okay. I have another question, Naidu, coming from Saddam Hussein, who is asking, what is, in your opinion, are the key strategies for attracting investment in startups? So we talked about solving the problem, that are we solving the right problem? But in between you also talked about the that hire a CMO, create the buzz. So is it also one of the strategy to attract investment in a startup
See,
beyond once you have solved the problem?
first of all, once you solve the problem, right, if we don't talk about it also, people would not know about it, because today the information is everywhere, right?
Mhm.
So how do you be the standing out of your company to the people, right? So one is you have to create, when you're meeting someone, for example, if I'm meeting you and I'm introduced, say, hey, I'm from Mera Events. Oh, I know about this company. The moment you are familiar with that company, the opportunity for you will be little easier to have the next level conversation. Otherwise you have to spend enough time to even explain about what I do, how do I do all that, right? So if you, that's an advantage. So whatever you are doing, whatever the problem you are solving, need to be little bit aware to the people if you're asking for an investment. So the branding is definitely important, the go to market strategy is definitely important in the process, right? So awareness is very important about your company. Now second is, now when you're talking to the investment, it's not pray and spray model, where I will write a blank email or a cold call email or cold call to anybody and everybody. No, every investment company will have certain thesis. So first understand that company, understand their thesis, at what stage they would invest the money, how much money they would invest, what sectors they would invest. So understand that cycle of the thesis of the investment company. And then if it is relevant to you, write an email to them saying that, hey, I understand this is what you're doing. So I'm in this space. This is the current traction of this company. I think it's relevant. Could we have the conversation about it? Right.
Okay.
So it is very important to be. Now the problem what people are doing is pray and spray model, a spray and pray model, right? So where people just sends a dumb email and there was no follow up after that, nothing, right? If you are doing a good job, you have to relevant to the investors whom you are need to talk about it. So the important
Makes a
is,
lot of sense.
obviously you need to have all the metrics, and then talk about the metrics is what will be attracting the investors, right? So hey, this is the kind of a growth I'm doing for the last 6 months. This is the kind of user base I'm serving. This is the kind of revenue I'm getting. This is the kind of margins I'm making. This has the potential of this much business. This is the market size. So it's a numbers game, right? It's all investors want to hear the numbers also. The problem what you're solving, how the growth is there. The numbers one, the growth
Mm.
percentages, that is will also attract the investments. That's one of the important to highlight the key metrics in every angle. That is what will attract the investments.
Okay. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So one is performance and another is popularity. That how you become popular,
And
how you
sometimes
create the
some
buzz.
businesses cannot necessarily be popular. For example, when you talk about a B2B SaaS businesses,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to, because see, popularity generally happens to the B2C businesses,
Yep.
whereas the B2 business doesn't know, a lot of people doesn't need to know about it. But still you might need to do the necessary PR of if you're reaching to certain level. Say today some of the companies like Zoho or Freshdesk kind of a companies, a lot of SaaS companies are B2B service companies, not B2C.
Okay.
Still they need to be on the limelight of the investors. And obviously if you're doing a B2B business also, you may not do so much of PR, so much of the user base, right? However, you need to talk to the relevant investors who are investing in tech startups, B2B startups, and the kind of size of revenue what you are in, and the kind of investment what you are raising it, and the sector what you are in. So you have to do that thesis of it to attract the investment and the metrics.
That's insightful. So we are saying that it's not about just again that you are talking to each and everyone. You should know that who is your target audience, who might be interested in you as a client and as a investor, and then strategically do that PR activity, the brand building activity, to focus on those people, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now we have a question coming from Shubham Gupta, who is asking, how do you recommend startup approach networking and building relationship with potential investors, especially on a global scale? So right now you are on a tour to US when you are connecting with other companies in US and other investors. So what's your recommendation for people who are in one country and then they want to scale their business globally? What are the 2 or 3 things that they should do?
It's about the research. Number one, say today the investment is a long process. Like it would be go anywhere between 6 to 12 months time window. One can raise an investment. It is not lesser shorter times, right? The minimum period I would put as 6 months in ideal case, right? It go up to 12 months also if your business has all the potential to raise investments. So the first
Okay.
and foremost is a long-term approach and the focused approach, right? So one has to dedicate certain reasonable amount of time, right? And obviously LinkedIn is the best networking tool. I know I have raised one of the investment for one of the company, almost $17 million, just by connecting through the LinkedIn itself. And I never met them personally, even as of today. So
That's
you
a
have to establish the relationship, follow up with them, explain and make them attract to your investment. Because the biggest challenge, I will tell you a very simple thing. In entrepreneurs are looking for funding, right? But investors are desperately looking more companies they are looking to invest. So I would say entrepreneurs are in a better stage because there are not many great companies all the times coming for them. So now they're looking even more desperate to invest in the right companies. The word right is very important here, but the right companies, they are more desperate because they have the money available. They want to invest in the business, and they are they're looking for it. So if you are able to write the right email, the right way of metrics, the right way of traction, they're a lot more keen. And the founder, which company I mentioned, was in US. He connected his Indian team, and finally we closed the deal. So it is a networking about it, persistence about it, about your whole thing, and getting the things done. See, once again, relevant to the kind of investment what you are doing. Don't do that model, right?
While
You
listening
don't
to
go.
you, I could see that probably you can write a book on right startup and then define what is right. As you explicitly mentioned that, okay,
Right.
I'm
The right
using the word
startup, I
right,
mean,
but
is that
that is critical.
scalable, and the scalable, real
Yeah.
problem what you're solving is really good, and all of that, right? The scalability, the real startup word I mean by.
So strategic networking, so whether it is within the country or outside the country,
Same.
is it's the strategic networking. But still, is there any difference because the culture is different? And is there any other second thought that, especially when we are scaling
No,
it globally?
you see, before even you're asking, see, the problem was, for example, I'll give you a simple example, right? You connected to a person in LinkedIn. The next minute you are asking for help.
Hmm.
Will that work? No, absolutely no.
Yeah.
So when you connected someone, give the time, build the relationship. What is a relationship? It's not give and take alone, right? You first see, educate them. Hey, this is what I'm doing. Is it okay if I can keep updating you some of the highlights? Maybe next 1 month, 2 months, you giving these are the highlights of this month for me, then the highlights of this month for me, right? So you make them interested in your you. He would come back to you. The moment the problem what Indians does is, right, when we connected something, oh, I connected, now I wanted to sell something. That
That,
doesn't work. You
that
build the relationship, educate them, but that's where you have to plan well ahead. Suppose next 6 months you are planning to raise money, start now. Start building the relationship, the potential probable investors list, you prepare it, talk to them, meet them, connected to them, write messages, keep updating on a monthly basis what's happening in your company, what is the kind of growth you are creating, all of that. That will, after 6 months, now you can say, or 3 months, say, hey, I'm in the process of raising money. Would this makes interest of you? So I want a settled marketing approach in a very settled way, not like a hardcore sales approach. Investment doesn't work like that. So it's important to show that value. Sometimes we have to maintain the relation for a year to get it matured.
Mhm.
People want tomorrow. It doesn't work. So you have to invest 1 year before your investment thesis. You create the list of the investors, maybe 10, 20, 30, 40, relevant to you, whether it's local or global. Update them on a quarterly basis or a monthly basis what's happening in your business. They would be very happy to see that consistency of you doing it, and that is the consistency, and your growth will attract the investment. If you don't do that and you want tomorrow the money, it will not happen. You want water, you have to dig the well long before.
You have to dig the well long before. I think that's a great mantra.
Same
I
thing
have
here.
a last question. There are many other questions in the pipeline, but in the interest of time, let me pick up the last question. It is coming from Vivekanand Sharma. People say if you grow, grow fast, and if you fail, fail fast. Growth can be measured easily, but how do you measure you are failing and now it's time to step out? As always, founders are always looking for new ways to overcome the failures. So when is the right time to step out?
See, there will always be certain times. What happens is, it's like I always say, entrepreneurs are like Abhimanyus, right? It's a very difficult situation for an Abhimanyu also, right? He doesn't know how to go back or how to move forward. So that is
Right.
the situation where it is the time to get out of it. It is a difficult challenge, right? So as entrepreneurs would know, now my business is not growing in terms of numbers. I'm not able to solve the problem mainly, and I'm losing money on a regular basis. I'm not able to get attraction to anybody. So there is a time where you know that your help, situation where it's not going. But either maybe consult the right advisors. Sometimes you may not solve that problem, but somebody else can solve that problem with you, along with you. So talk to the right people who has gone through that journey. Have
Okay.
the right mentors. See, the biggest problem today, we have 100,000 startups are there in India, but how many people who are actually done this multiple times, or at least once, from starting up a company to exit of the company, and who has the understanding of the end-to-end ecosystem, right? Have the mentors on your side, right? There are few. Very, the problem is there are maybe very few advisors or mentors who has gone through the journey. There are so-called knowledgeable entrepreneurs are there, but not practical entrepreneurs. The theoretical entrepreneurs are there, not practical advisors. So have that
Yeah.
practical entrepreneur, an advisor on your side who has gone through this journey, how to solve that problem. Then the opportunity would be a lot more higher for you. So solve that problem. But if you're thinking that the problem is not solvable and it can't be done, then convert that scalable business into a lifestyle business or completely quit off the business. And that's what I have done also in Mera events. At one point of time I had 100 people company, 100 crores top line revenue company, profitability, but the profit is very narrow. And pandemic given me an opportunity to come out of it, because now there's nothing I can do about it, and there's nothing wrong about it, right? So that's another thing, right? In India, the social stigma of failure is still not very taken in a positive way, right? It is an experience. It's not a failure to me. It's an experience what you are getting. It's okay to learn, and that is common in the West here, very common. So in
Okay.
India, that is a challenge. But don't worry about it. You are not trying to prove anybody at some point. You have given your best. You're an entrepreneur. You have sacrificed so many things as an entrepreneur: the life, personal life, health, and many things, family, and everything. You have tried to make something great, but it did not work. That's not only the problem, right? Maybe you're not solved the problem in the right way. Maybe you did not have the right resources, right mentors, advisors. So have the right successful or the good people along with you. I'm sure one day you would be successful. And if it takes, maybe sometimes it can take 2 times, 3 times, no problem. There are people who might have failed multiple times, and still one success is what is needed for an entrepreneur. That is the kind of persistence we need to have it if you are wanted to solve the problem. But focus on solving the problem, clearly, not on the peripheral things, the PR, the branding, the visibility. That is not the thing, right? And it's not your title what will give you a thing. It is the problem what you're solving.
Yeah, I think if you do the AI analytics of this tech talk today, I think the keyword would be solving problem.
Absolutely.
It will capture that.
Entrepreneur is fundamental reason why entrepreneur is born is to solve the problem.
Hmm.
All other are like byproducts. You making money, making fame, making name, all other things are byproducts, not the core products. It will happen if you're solving the pain problem rightly and you're really doing good. That's why you see any successful company you see right today in the world or anywhere, right? They solve that problem very perfectly, and they small problem in the right way. Not necessarily it has to be a very big problem, very complex activity. We don't need to
That's
complicate too much on this.
Yes, and as you mentioned about having the right mentoring, for the benefit of our audience, I'm showing the LinkedIn profile of Naidu below the screen, so you can note down and then build the relationship as you just recommended. Don't just go straight away and asking for help. You can build the relationship, and probably if he sees the opportunity in you, he'll be willing to mentor you as well,
In
right,
fact,
Naidu?
while I'm mentoring so many companies, right, I have dedicated 1 hour of my time every day, and put a calendar to hear the company and give the feedback. Right, it is important to give back to the society what I am here today because of the whatever the things, right? And it is important to learn and give that knowledge back to the people. So I can, but unfortunately, I also have to run my day-to-day life. So I have
Yes.
dedicated almost an hour time, for every startup, listening and giving my feedback, and every interaction what I have come across, I do giving that feedback eventually, right? So that is very important, I feel, and happy to do that. But unfortunately, with the kind of show I might get 100 requests. I'm already full of 30,000 LinkedIn networks, so I don't have much space. But I would remove some of the people, right, with the message, happy to work with you, in your current startups, and whatever the best possible, I would able to help you on that.
Okay, okay. I have one last quick question,
Yes.
though we are running out of time, but still, you talked about that get a co-founder who is a tech partner with you, or the person who can solve the technical problem. But now, seeing the cost of CTOs increasing on the higher side, do you see that fractional CTO or the part-time CTOs that is a workable solution, or what's your take on it?
See, my recommendation is either you could partner with a third party company and outsource it completely, but I would not recommend a part-time CTO. The reason is anything you do part-time approach. If so the way I give a statement saying that in a startup world or in an entrepreneurship world, even after you are giving 100% of your time and energy and focus, there is no guarantee that you are going to be successful. So if you're not giving your 100%, forget about it. Don't do entrepreneurship, go back to the job.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense. So now we see the commendation coming from Bhavna Mia. Thank you. Clarity of your insights and the practical takeaways are invaluable. Any last message to the audience before we close today's VectoScalar Tech Talk, Naidu?
Yeah, I think you're doing an amazing job, Vikas. Really appreciate it. And I could not say no to you, because though I've been traveling, that it's in the morning of, Eastern time zone and all of that, but really appreciate this. And it's an opportunity for me also to talk to all your audience, to, to share my insights and thoughtful. And I'm sure this will be beneficial to many people, and happy to take it forward. But, and don't worry about it. You solve the problem. Even today, you can start a good lifestyle business for the first couple of years. You never know which business you will end up. So keep doing something rather than doing nothing. Create opportunities for the people, solve the real pain problem. It could be sometimes very small problem. Not everybody need to be in startups. Start a good lifestyle business is very good enough. That will give you the exposure to make a great company for yourself.
Thanks for the appreciation. And again, reiterating the same point, the solving the problem. Solving the problem is the key, whether you are in a job or you're as an entrepreneur. The key thing is you solve the problem. And once you start solving the problem, you will not just grow yourself, can grow the society, grow the nation, and in turn grow the world.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Naidu. Thanks for your
Yes,
time.
thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Vikas. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks, audience, for watching the show. And you are always a great participants. Keep watching more VectoScalar Tech Talk show, where we bring more thought leaders like Naidu. See you in the next VectoScalar Tech Talk show. Bye bye for now.